Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our new Frontier Survival Challenge where we started from scratch with nothing but a truck and a chainsaw. And today, I kind of have a little bit of a thing that I'm about to do. I've been selling things off screen, which is why our money is where it is. We sold our old flatbed trailer for tractors because we don't need it anymore. We sold the wood chipper because we don't use it. I forget. There was a couple of things that we sold, but needless to say, I ended up swapping out our old logging trailer for a new logging trailer without a shield on it because I'm tired of hauling 6-meter logs. I know I can get a little bit more on the trailer if I haul 8 meters or even 9-meter logs. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So, in order to do that, I need specific equipment to facilitate my possibilities. And with Mac being the way it is, he's no longer going to be able to do what we want in terms of the logging. Now, we're not getting rid of Mac. One of the early rules that we set out was that we would not get rid of tractors or trucks or anything like that. Trailers, you can swap those out. Implements, you can swap those out. I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to the progression, I want to be able to look back and be like, oh, okay, we started with this and we worked our way up, and you can see all the equipment that we bought along the way. Again, the implements, that's a whole other ballgame. You're going to be changing that out all the time, so it's not that big a deal. Trailers, all that stuff, I don't care about. But the tractors, the trucks, they stay. They're part of the family. And Mac has done a huge job at helping us get to where we're going. Now, in order to get the next semi, the final semi that we're ever going to need on the truck or on the channel, we need $193,000. And surprisingly, we're very close. So I decided to take it upon myself to load up all of the wood chips. Turns out we had 120, almost 124,000 liters of wood chips in our bunker. Y'all thought that it was there for just looks? Nope. We cash it in when it's worth it, and it just so happens that January is when they're at their peak. So now is the best time possible to sell our wood chips. So that's what we're gonna do. So without further ado, let the money come on. I want to see all the money, please. I need all the money. I need at least 193,000. Surely 123,000 liters of wood chips will get us more than enough to get us there. And it looks like we're gonna absolutely blitz through that. No problem. Let's go, baby. All right, $68,000 in wood chips. Let's go. That ain't shit. That's not too shabby, folks. And even better is we can afford our new truck. So, you guys know how much I love spending money. Having $220,000 in the bank is all well and good, but what good is it if you don't spend it? And we are going to do just that. Now, a lot of you guys are probably not keeping up with me when I say that Mac is no longer viable for what we want to do from a logging standpoint. Mac is a fantastic daily driver sort of semi, but he's not the best logging semi you ever did see. And the reason being is because he's a standard length frame. We want a long frame truck, and there's only one of those in the game, and it's a base game truck. So I forgot. We don't have brakes. I shut the engine off and this thing just does not stop. It's going to roll forever. It's going to come to a stop eventually. Rolling resistance is the thing. Anyway, let's get in and look at our equipment, shall we? Also, there's a lot of stuff in here that we could potentially have grabbed, but no, we're not doing it. We've got specific things that we're looking for. Let's go to the trucks. All right, so in the trucks, you may have known that we do have a few mods in here, but the main thing is this particular truck right here. See how everybody else just has the normal 2-axle rear end? You see how it's 1 or 2 axles? Yeah, this one actually might have a longer frame. Yeah, so this one actually has a longer frame, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's okay if you're into that sort of thing, but yeah, this is not my cup of tea when it comes to... I don't like cab overs, okay? I just don't. I don't like them. I'm sorry for all... I will say this. Being able to look under and see the engine is pretty sick. Okay? It's sick. It's nice. There's a lot of detail there. But I can't do it. I don't like cab-overs, man. I just don't. So, the other one is this one, right? We have the Volvo right here. But, again, you can do the tandem long or the tandem short. The long frame is what we're after. This is your logging frame, okay? So, this one also has the ability to go with a longer frame. And it's got a really long frame. So why is this important? Well, when you're going to run without a shield to get more length available for your logs, you need a longer frame to give your truck ability to turn. Otherwise, your logs are going to be hitting the back of the cab, right? Now, obviously, in real life, you are not allowed to run without a shield. It is illegal. Why? Because you will die if you have an accident. Those logs, pipes, whatever you're hauling, going to go right through the back of the cab, right? Like it's not even there. So, in that case, it's not ideal, right? But in this case, we are going to go through and we are going to spend the $193,000. This thing, by the way, has 500 horsepower, so it's more than powerful enough for what we need. And then we are going to slap some good old red wheels on here because, you know, got a separator from Mack. Mack being red, white, and blue. This one's going to be black and red. Kind of a throwback to our Bessie, you know? Just a little throwback to Bessie, except this one's nice and glossy black. But we could swap that out too. We got Volvo black, Volvo purple, or we go like jet black and onyx black. Like, it doesn't really matter which one we choose. Honestly, it really doesn't. The one thing I will say is this kind of has like a metallic in it, which I don't like. So I think we go with like onyx black. Just a good old glossy, flat blackish color with the red wheels. Looks pretty good. Again, we don't have the shield, so if we have an accident, we're toast. We're done. But we already set it up to have our license plate on the back and the front, SE43. Gotta have that on there. And we've already bought the trailer for the logging side of things. So, this is $193,000. We buying it. It's done. We have $26,000 in the bank. But look at this thing. She's a monster. Look how long that frame is. To put this into... we will pull this up next to Mack and show you the difference between the two frames, right? Like, Mack is going to stop about here. Maybe here, but probably here. Okay, this is about how long Mack is. We've got that much more room. Meaning, we can have that much more logs on our trailer. Well, let's take a look inside. Oh my God, it's all black. It is so black in here. Holy moly. But, we got our navigation, I'm assuming, right there. We've got all the bells and whistles you could ever ask for. Nice, comfortable seats. Armrest on both sides. Love to see it. Let's take her for a spin, shall we? Now the most important thing. Okay, it doesn't have jake braking. But does it have a good horn? Oh, it does! It has a good horn! Oh, thank God it doesn't have that garbage beep beep horn like a Toyota Prius. Oh, this thing is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love this thing a lot. But this will allow us to have this hooked up to the logging trailer at all times. This is a logging truck, okay? Make no mistake, that's what this thing is for. It is not meant to pull everything else. It can, but that's not what we're going for. This thing's sole purpose in life, the sole purpose of it existing, is to pull the logging trailer. And over here we have our brand new logging trailer, the one without the shield on the front, which will allow us to have a longer log, because we can now overlap the front as well as the rear. And as I said, y'all think I was joking about actually, let me pull, it'd be easier to pull this thing up next to Mack. Mack's already loaded up. We did bring down the excavator, speaking of Volvo. But look at the difference in size, folks. Alright, we'll give him right about here. Look at the difference in size. Okay, first of all, we're taller. giving us a little bit better visibility. But also, look at the length. We're getting an extra, what? Like, the trailer attaches here on this truck, right? Look how much extra we get. I mean, that's at least 8 feet extra. I'm sure somebody out there will know the exact length difference, but that's got to be at least 8 feet between here and there, right? Plus, it's a third axle, so that means we're allowed to haul more weight, right? So, all good. It's all good things. Also, look at the chrome on this thing. Oof. She looking good, man. There's something, I'm not a big chrome person, but there's something about chrome on a truck. I don't know why. It just looks so good. And then you got the fact that this is like a flat black with the red wheels. Oh, she looking good, man. She looking so good. All right. Now let's get this thing attached to our trailer, which you may have noticed already has the red wheels, so we got the matching. We got the matching. But look at this thing as we hook up to our trailer for the first time, man. This is why this is going to be so good. Look at the extra room we got. To put this into perspective, before, we used to have issues where the 8-meter logs would hang all the way off the back and be scraping the ground. That is no longer going to be a problem because we're going to be able to bring the logs out the front of the trailer so that the front logs end up about halfway back or a little in front of halfway back of the trailer. And then the rear logs will be right about there, and then they will stick out just a little bit, but no longer going to be jank and dragging the bottom, okay? It's going to be beautiful. I've got all of this all thought out, right? That's our goal. But this is what's going to carry us into the future, right? Because this is going to allow us to pull much, much more each load. So instead of having double sixes and only being able to get maybe eight or 9 trees, maybe 10 trees if you're lucky, this thing is going to be able to do double 8s, maybe even double 9s. I might try a load of double 9s just to see if it's possible, because 9 meters, if you guys aren't aware, 9 meters is the maximum value per tree or per log that you can get out of the sawmill. According to, I want to say it was Farmer Cop, but I don't think it was. I think it was somebody else. Maybe it's Driver 53. I forget who it was. Somebody did the video and they tested the different lengths of logs for us. And their conclusion was simple. That 9 meters was the maximum value that you were going to get out of a log. Whereas 6 meters is no longer the maximum value. 6 meters is the most easy in terms of loading everything up. But with the right setup, I'm going to show you guys that this is absolutely a possibility for us. Now, it is going to be a little bit jank, potentially, because you're going to have a lot of logs sticking out the front. But, obviously, in real life, this thing would be very, very in danger if you were sticking your logs out the front. You'd be tearing hoses, and then your brakes will lock up. It's going to be bad. But, we don't have to worry about that. We don't. So that means we're going to be able to have a longer log stick out the front, and then our rear logs will be able to come up and be a little bit closer to the middle, meaning they won't stick out the back as much and drag the ground. Meaning that we're going to be able to get some pretty insane loads going forward. And I don't have to like make it as perfect anymore because of the long frame. Now, in fairness, I probably didn't need to make this long. We could have went with a shorter base, I think, and still just kept a triple axle, and it would have been a little bit shorter. But I kind of like it. It's different. I've never had a long frame semi in anything, whether it be American Truck Simulator or nothing. I've never done like a long frame before. So I like it. Alrighty, so I've called them all again. I started getting a little carried away with the new logging equipment and stuff because that was what I was thinking about. And I completely forgot that we have to plant our grass. And the sun is going down, right? So we don't have a lot of time. We need to get this done. So we need to find Lil Green, get him over here, and get this done. Where is Lil Green? Where did I leave Lil Green? Lil Green. Oh. Somebody forgot to bring this back. Whoopsie doodle. Alright, well, you guys are coming with me. Like it or not, you're coming with me. Alright, but we'll get Big Green back over here. We'll get it hooked up to the planter or seeder, whatever, the grass roller tender thingamajig. We'll get it in there. And we got to get some work done. Also, I'll show you guys what I ended up screwing up in the last episode so that you guys can avoid doing the same thing.
because I didn't think it all the way through. But it's fine. It's a simple fix, and it cost us basically nothing. And to fix it after the fact will cost almost nothing. So it's no big deal. But yeah, it's just something that I had to think about. Some of you guys probably already know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys do not. But I hope that you guys are enjoying the series. I know a lot of people have been reaching out, giving me some good ideas and stuff as well. I have a lot of plans for our property, specifically on the detailing side of things. But you guys know the deal. First and foremost, this is a survival challenge. Like, we got to survive. We got to have money in the bank. We don't have a lot of that because I just spent it all on a new truck. Because reasons. Hopefully it'll make my life easier going with 8 or 9 meter logs and be able to get more money per load, as well as just making loading simpler, right? But that does mean that we got rid of our flatbed trailer that we had for the tractors. We got rid of our log grinder, or whatever you want to call it. Not the stump grinder, but the wood chipper. Got rid of that. And all of that. So, yeah. At the end of the day, we did what we had to do, but there's definitely some better things. Now, also, we need to come up with a better way to empty this bunker. I used a new mod, which was a little tiny auger. That little tiny auger took forever, and I had to keep moving it. It was not ideal. So we got to come up with a better way of emptying that, because that bunker can hold a lot of wood chips. But we're going to drop our trailer off. You can see all the stuff. We're already starting to get new stuff over here. The sawmill is actually crazy, man. It goes through, it'll make a lot of stuff for us, which is good because that's money in the bank, and we got plenty of stuff to get rid of to make that money too. So we're good. But yeah, as we get up here, you may already have seen it a little bit, but we had to separate these two fields for the time being with just a little bit of paint work. We just put a little bit of paint to separate the two, because I forgot I gotta paint, or I gotta go through and plant this, and I kind of want the ability to use GPS. And when you don't separate the fields, GPS accrues the entire field, which is not what I need. I don't need to replant the entire field. I just need to replant the new field. So we separate them for the time being, and then when we're done, we'll go in and we'll combine them with one last pass, which is going to be small enough that we can do with one pass of the cultivator and one pass of this planter. All right, but it is now time to plant some grass. So I think now would be a great time for you guys to get a little time lapse. Let me get into position first. Alright, turn it on. This crop cannot be planted in January. What? What grass could be planted anytime? Oh, man. I guess it can be planted in February. Guys, we're going forward into February. We need daylight anyway. It's fine. I didn't realize that was going to be a thing. But, yeah. Well, the more you know. I guess it's time to go into... Does that mean I'm going to have weeds? I better not... If grass can't grow, neither can weeds. There better not be any weeds show up in this field. I like to go forward to 10 o'clock because the sun doesn't shine very well over here in these parts. It doesn't. I don't know why. We must be really far north is all I can figure, because the sun never really comes directly overhead. And then if it's overcast, it always looks dark. And you can see it is a little bit of overcast. It's not too bad, though. Not too bad. We've got light. And no weeds, thankfully. All right, let's get this going. Surely we can plant them now. Needs lime and all that. We don't need all that. Oh, for God's sakes, it apparently can't be planted in February either. I was looking at the wrong thing. I saw the cotton. March apparently is when we're going to be able to do the thing. Oh, you guys are laughing at me, I can tell. Stop laughing at me. We got plenty of wood in the bank, so I ain't worried about it. plenty of water in the greenhouse. I'm taking a break, I guess. Let's go back in. I don't want to be out here in the wintertime anyway. Of course, March is still winter, but still. I don't want to be out here. It's cold. Going back to bed. Surely this one, now it's going to be like raining or something. I can tell it. I can feel it. I can feel it in my loins. It's going to be raining or something. It's going to be awful. It's going to be a muddy mess is what's going to happen. No, it's not a muddy mess. And it's actually sunny. Perfect. Surely I can plant the grass now. Right? It said March. Question mark. Aha! Alright, let me get lined up a little better here. I don't know how I managed to start out doing so well and then end up in the same position that I started out at. Alright. We have the roller on. We are going to lower the roller. We are going to set up and go forward. And now, why does it say no fuel? You know what? Screw it. It's fine. It's probably thinking that we don't have the land. Perfect. Alright. So now, I guess now would be a great time for a time lapse.
Alrighty, so we have officially got the area planted, but we're not done yet. It's time to connect the two fields, right? So we're gonna do that just now. Drop this. Right here should be fine. Go grab our little cultivator thingamajig, tear up the ground that we painted over, and we should be able to just plant. So that's all you have to do. If you ever do this where you make the same mistake I did, just use a little bit of paint, break up the two fields, a small little spot. It doesn't take much, a little small area, and then you can easily go over that area with the cultivator and your planter and be done with it, right? You don't have to make it out to be some crazy amount of work. So we're going to allow it to create fields. And we're just going to go along the area between the two fields. We have to allow it to create fields because we painted it over, so it got rid of the field that was underneath, right? That's why it's able to work. But now we simply just go along here. And the good news is our planter is wider than our actual cultivator. So anything that we tear up with the with the cultivator will be easily able to be covered with the planter in one pass. So should just be super simple to go through and connect these two fields, and then it should register as one big field when we're done with it. All of the grassy area that we've planted should count as one giant field. If we did it correctly, which I'm pretty sure we have, because it's really not that difficult. Alright, so that is the cultivator work done. Drop this right here for now. Go grab our planter, plant the grass along the area that we just tilled up. And of course we don't need GPS for this. It's just going to be simple as keeping the planter over top of the area that we just tilled. So we can turn it on. Go over here. And set it down. It will look like it tears up more of the grass, but that's just it going through and replanting. Remember, the grass is part of a field. And the main thing is we want to make sure that we have enough coverage to cover the area that we just tilled up. We're going to end up booping the stump grinder. All we got was I thought we were going to boop it, but just drug it. It's fine. Alright, now I think there is one little spot down there at the beginning. I'm going to go back over as soon as that gets out of my way. We'll go over it just to make sure that it's all planted, which it should be, but again, I would rather make sure that it's all planted than find out after we're going forward in time that we missed a spot.
just simply go right over top of this. And that should be everything. Alright, fold this up. We can get this out of the way. Now, one thing I would like to do is, you can see this area over here is still pretty crazy. I would like to go in and soften this just a little bit more, but I think I'm going to do that once we get rid of all this stuff that's right here. The greenhouse is going to go. The bunker silo that we put in is going to go. This temporary silo was just a way for me to easily buy seed, so it'll go away. It's not permanent. But all of this stuff is going to get changed, right? Like, that's the beauty of it. But with all of that being said, let's take a look at our productions real quick and save. We will go in and make sure that everything is good. Should have water. It looks like we got plenty of water for our greenhouse. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys didn't hear me smack you guys. And then, of course, wood. It looks like we're doing okay on wood. So I think we'll let that go for another month before we fill that up. But, yeah. Let's get up to the property. Of course, it's going to be the last thing, isn't it? There we go. Alright, let's look at the construction so you guys can see how everything looks. We got the area. This looks different just because we went over it and replanted it after we tilled it. And it grabbed the texture from retilling some of the grass area. But everything else is nice and uniform. Looks like we didn't miss anything that I can see right off the top of my head. I'm worried that there is like a little spot over here somewheres that I missed from the initial coverage, but I think for the most part, I think we did a good job. So, all that's left is to go forward, folks. It's time. Let's let the grass grow, baby! And this will be a good time for us to check out, make sure that everything is going to fit. We'll be able to check in, make sure that everything was planted perfectly. Now, going forward, we will have to fill up our production, but you can see the grass is growing. It's growing. Let's take a look. Now, obviously, it's not at the same grass state or growth state as this grass, so it looks a little different at the moment, but it will eventually get to this state, right? But you can see there is some small areas that need to be potentially touched up over there. We can do those pretty easily. But I think that's literally it, though, right? Like, I don't see anything else. Which is impressive, considering the size of this field. So the only place that seems to have been missed is this spot right here. And I'm assuming that that was a spot that we missed with the till. So we'll have to till that up and then replant. It's gonna look jank in the like short term or interim, whatever you want to call it. But I promise it won't be jank for long. All right, well, let's grab this. We'll grab our cedar, take it back up there. Like I said, it's gonna look jank in the interim, but it only will look that way for a short amount of time. Once all of the grass is finished growing in, it'll all be the same state. Everything will look exactly the same. It'll be beautiful. But we had to do the same thing when we did this initial area over here, where we had a couple of spots that were missed or didn't get tilled properly or whatever, so we had to go back over it. We're just going to be doing the same thing here. And again, once we remove the greenhouse and we remove the bunker silo and we get all of this area over here, we're going to have to fix some areas over here as well. But this is all going to look freaking amazing. But you can see there's definitely some leveling issues over here that's going to be an issue, at least until we get that area fixed. But I'm pretty sure that the area that's right here is going to need to be tilled first. So let's drop this. Let's grab our cultivator slash whatever subsoiler, and we will till that small area up, which will literally just be us parking on top of it, dropping this thing down, and it should work just fine. And then we'll replant it, and that will be that. Now, we are gaining money each month, so that's good news. Plus, I mean, that's not even including all of the stuff that we're going to make out of our sawmill. But we are already set for allow create fields, so we're good there. So we just need to find our little trouble spot, which is right here, and drop her down. Go forward just a hair, just to make sure that we got it all. And that spot is now fixed. Right? And now we drop this. I gotta be careful doing that. On our Hutan Pantai multiplayer series, I dropped a plow like that one time and left it, and even though it wasn't on create fields, it actually dug into the ground. So I gotta be careful dropping those things like that. But we unfold this, turn it on. Drop her down. And plant the area just like that. And that's all it takes. That is literally all it takes to fix the area that was a trouble spot. Now, yes, it looks terrible in the moment, but once all of that grows in, it'll look just fine. We're going to just drop this here for the moment, because we don't need it. We'll leave little green up here. The next thing that we need to do is go ahead and jump in our Papa Smurf and drag some trees into our sawmill, because our sawmill is basically, it is out of wood. It is actually out of wood. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and hook up. Now, the beauty of this is we simply just pull up here and we hook up to 8 trees and pull them. So we'll grab that one. I don't know why that jumps. Dude, the physics of this game's winches is a little bit jank at times. Okay, so that's that winch. Kind of want to do this one. Perfect. So now we have 8 trees hooked up. Pull them in nice and tight with our winch. And then we just drag these straight over to the sawmill. And you guys can see all of that work that we put in the last episode to get all that stuff cleared and set up over here, full trees, is about to pay off, because now all we simply do, yes, it's a little slow. I mean, we got 8 full-size trees. But we're dragging 8 full-size trees into the sawmill all at one time. It takes seconds, right? Not even a minute. Well, apparently, I was going to say, apparently some of these trees get stuck. Okay, we're good. That should work. Now, they're in the trigger. We can go, boop. They're all gone. 25,000 liters. We'll do that again. Only we don't need 8 trees this time. Okay, we can't quite make that one. It's fine. Now, if we drop this down, I think this will help, because then we can lift them up a little bit. Pull those in nice and tight. Lift that up. Yeah, we can go a little bit faster. Yeah, we have one less tree this time than we had last time, but in theory, it helps. And then
this will be our sawmill completely filled up. We've got all sorts of products over there waiting to be loaded onto a truck. I mean, we're going to have so much money after this fast forward period that's coming up. There we go. And then this will simply finish this up right here. And now we have 41,000 liters of logs or wood in our sawmill, so we're good there. We do have quite a bit of wood chips, so let's go ahead and get that done as well. Or we'll just fill up on wood chips. Dump it on the ground. Alright, we can shut that down. Now we need to get in here. Turn that on. Go here. Jump in this one. Turn it on and unload here. And now we start filling up our bunker again. It's a little weird, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad, and then that will keep running and fill all of our sawdust or wood chips into the bunker where it belongs. The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that we have to put it in a trailer just to put it in here. Like, I don't like that. Obviously, it would make more sense to simply let it fill up with wood chips and then load it directly into a trailer. But again, I like the aesthetic of having a bunker silo full of the wood chips, right? Like, that's my thing. Like, I like it, the aesthetic of it. Even if it's a little jank the way we have to do it, I still think that it looks cool when it's all said and done. And as you can see, that pickup right there is so good. This is what I need to fill or to unload this silo, because it's really good at what it does. Like, it'll grab from a wide area as long as it's on the ground nearby, right? So we need this loading into one of these to empty this out. So we're going to have to spend some more money on conveyor belts. But that little auger that I got was barely big enough to reach over the trailer that we loaded up. And it took forever and had to keep moving it. It was just awful. It was awful. So this thing is going, we're going to need another one of these big ones and one of these small ones to load into it to empty our bunker silo. But as you can see, it picked all of the wood chips up. We don't have to worry about that at all. And yeah, from here, we simply are good to go. Now, obviously, we will need to bring over our low loader trailer to start loading all this stuff onto, because this stuff is going to be like a mess real quick. If we look, I forget how much stuff this thing can store, but let's look real quick. So it can store up to 50,000 liters of planks, 33,000 liters of long planks, 22,000 liters of wood beams, and 90,000 liters of wood chips. So we've got a lot that we can hold on to. So we don't have to go too crazy here, right? Now the other thing is, once this greenhouse runs out of water, we're simply going to take and demolish it. I'm no longer going to have this little greenhouse. We will eventually repair or replace the greenhouse with a bigger greenhouse or several greenhouses at some point, but right now is not the time. So that will come down the road. But this was an early game thing that we did to make sure that we were at least not dying from money, right? So we'll be able to hold everything once, and it doesn't even start technically storing until it runs out of room to produce pallets. So once this fills up this area full of pallets, then it'll start storing them. But yeah, the next thing I need to do is jump in Mac, because Mac is now our transport truck, right? It's no longer the logging truck, it's our transport truck. So this trailer will stay on Mac for the foreseeable future. So
So we're going to go ahead and grab Mac, bring him over, and start loading him up with the stuff to be shipped out. But I hope that you guys are enjoying. I really do, because this has been a long time to get to this point, and we're just now starting to get to the point where everything looks the way that I want it to look, right? We're getting to that point during the series where we're having enough money to do what we want to do, to make the areas look as good as we want, to have the equipment that we want. I mean, we're almost done buying logging equipment at this point. Now, obviously, there's going to be more equipment bought down the road for other purposes, but for now, I mean, the logging side of things is basically all cooked. We don't have to spend any more money. It's just money for us, right? We have everything we need. But I'll load all this stuff up after. Well, you know what? Screw it. You guys are with me. Let's get this done. Let's just load it on here real quick. We'll take this directly to the store and sell it, and that's how we'll end today's episode. And there you go. We've got a solid load for Mac to take into the store. It should be a decent chunk. We got 10 pallets of long planks, we got 7 pallets of wood beams, and we got 12 pallets of little planks. We'll go take this in and we'll call it a day, ending with a nice little load of good products. But yeah, so in the next episode, the goal is simple. I want to get this area over here cleaned up. Then we will, oh, there's a spot that we're going to have to fix. You see it? You saw it. I'm not the only one that saw it. But yeah, there are little spots like that we can fix. And then we will have all the grass area looking nice and pretty. And then we will also be trying to get rid of all of the last of the trees that we had grown up. We have probably 4 or 5 loads worth of logs that we can log out of the trees from our old log farm. And meanwhile, our new log farm will be growing. It takes like 4 years for those trees to grow in, so we got a long time before those trees get to maturity. And in that time, we get to do other things to make things, you know, look nice around our property. So if you guys have been waiting for the details and all of the decorating and stuff, keep your eye out, because we're getting there. Also, we have a pallet that's trying to escape. No escaping! You must be sold! That pallet is... I knew me knocking that pallet over was going to cause problems, but yeah, it's definitely causing problems. But, as you can see, we're going to keep Mac around. Mac is a great transport truck for hauling like this trailer specifically, and even hauling the excavator around. But for the logging, we needed the longer truck. But let's go ahead and... Oops. We have caused problems. It's fine though. Those problems are about to evaporate. $61,000! Dude, I'm telling you, that sawmill is a money maker. As long as I keep it filled, it's going to keep producing money. We're up to $86,000 in the bank again. But with that being said, I think this is a great spot. As Mac drives off into the distance, this is a great place to go ahead and end the episode. So thank you guys once again for hanging out with me. I hope that you guys enjoy. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.